I'll get the glory, we'll win the fight. They'll tell the story of how we took tonight.
Hey guys, so today I have a really exciting tutorial. This is going to be a Kendall Jenner inspired makeup tutorial, and I saw a picture on Instagram that a makeup artist did on her recently and I fell in love with it. I will insert the picture here. It is one of the most stunning looks I've ever seen. It's very like silvery and shimmery and glowy. It's so highlighted and I love it. And I was absolutely obsessing over this look like all week, so I was like, okay, I have to film a tutorial on it. And I used some really fun new products, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. And yeah, I'm going to show you step by step how I created this look. It's pretty simple, but it does have a few more steps than I usually do. It uses some new techniques and new products, so I hope you guys like it. This is one of my favorite looks that I have ever done, and usually I am not a fan of silver on myself, but I really like it. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and if you want to see how I got this look, then just keep watching. Okay guys, so for today's tutorial, I thought I would try something a little bit different. I haven't done a talk through tutorial in a while, but I'm going to do a talk through, and I may do a little bit of a voiceover. I like the voiceovers because there's music, but I feel like I explain everything better when I do it on camera, like a talk through tutorial. So first thing I'm going to do is use a primer water. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Makeup Setting Spray. You can use it before and after your makeup. So first thing I'm going to do is just spray my face with this and let that soak in. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is apply my foundation before we do the eyes, just because I want to see my skin look a little bit better on camera, and then we'll do the concealer after the eyes. But I'm going to do a new technique that my boss actually showed me how to do to apply foundation and just get it like really airbrush looking. So the first thing I'm going to do is use a buffing brush, and this is by Belle Tools. It's the 957. It comes in their little travel brush set, so I will link that down below. But what you do is you just get your brush damp with the primer water and just get it on there. And then you're going to go in with your foundation, and first you're going to buff it into your skin. For today's look, I want it to be very glowy and dewy and just like really flawless. So I'm going to use the Makeup Forever HD foundation, and I'm going to mix in a little bit of the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector just to get that very dewy lit with from Inglow, and then we'll go back and highlight on top of that. But this is going to give you that dewy finish, just kind of showing through your foundation. So I'm going to mix a little bit of my foundation and a little bit of the highlighter on the back of my hand, and then if we need more, we will add more. So I'm going to get that brush that was damp with the primer water, and first just kind of press this into my skin and really buff it in.
We'll win the fight. They'll tell the story of how we took tonight.
Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more foundation just because her skin is so flawless in this picture, and it looks like she has a pretty full coverage foundation on. It doesn't look cakey, but her skin is absolutely perfect. It does not look like there's any freckles or anything showing through. So I'm going to add a little bit more of this foundation because it is very buildable. The Makeup Forever HD is not heavy when you first put it on, but you can build it to full coverage, which is what I like. So I'm going to press a little bit more of this on. Okay, so once you put it on with the buffing brush, then you go in with a damp beauty blender, and then you can spray this with your primer water again too, but I already got this damp with water, so either way. And I'm just going to press and roll the foundation on my skin, and this beauty blender doesn't have any extra makeup on it. It's just going to really blend in the foundation that we already have sitting on the skin. And the dampness of the beauty blender kind of gets rid of any cakiness that may be going on. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it just gives you such a flawless finish. And it just makes your skin look so like naturally perfect. It doesn't look like you have on a ton of makeup. Okay, so now that we have the foundation on, I'm going to go ahead and do my eyes, and then we'll come back to the rest of the face. Okay, so for eyes, I'm going to start with a primer. You can use any one that you like. Today I'm going to be using the Tarte Clean Slate Primer.
I'll get the glory, we'll win the fight. They'll tell the story of how we took tonight.
This primer is also made to go under concealer, so I'm also going to take whatever is left over and just put it underneath my eyes. Okay, so the eyes are very simple on this look. They're kind of silvery and the focus is really like on the lashes and the inner corner is really bright. So the main palette I'm going to be using today is the Urban Decay Naked 2 palette. I haven't used this in forever, but we are going to see how this goes. So the first color I'm going to use is the matte cream color on the end of the palette. It is called Foxy. It's a very yellow cream, which I think actually works for this look even though it's a cooler tone look because she has a lot of warmth in her skin. So I feel like using some warmer tones like this yellow toned cream is going to help balance out all the silver and keep it from looking ashy, which always happens on me with silver. So I like that in this palette that they put the very yellow toned cream. So I'm going to put this right under my brow bone and kind of blend it down over the lid just to give us a nice base to work with, and having a color underneath like your crease color helps it blend a lot better. If you put down a powder first or like a skin tone color, it's going to help everything blend and not stick to the primer. Okay, the Naked 2 palette does not have just a nice tan color, so I'm going to go in with a single eyeshadow, and this is Urban Decay Naked. This is the old packaging, but they still sell it, or you can even use a bronzer or something that's just similar, a little bit darker than your skin tone. So I'm just going to take this color in my crease and blend it up towards the brow bone to work as a transition color and just add a little bit of depth. Moving on to the silver lid, I'm going to be using a silver cream base just to make the silver pop and look more pigmented and just show up a lot more metallic. And I'm going to be using the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Pots and Pans. It's just a creamy silver pencil. It's really like silver. So I'm going to be using this all over my lid. If you don't like something so silver, you could use kind of just a cool tone metallic base. Do whatever you want, but I'm going to put this all over my lid and kind of focus it towards the inner corner.
I saw the clouds roll in and run across the sky, and I hope that, I really hope that when the sun burns through and I am left to try, I know that, I think I know that.
And I'm just putting a tiny bit underneath my eyes on this inner part. Okay, next I'm going to be using the color Verve, which is this light silvery metallic color. It's a little bit on the more white side. It's not as dark. And this is going to be our lid color. For this, I'm just going to be using a small flat brush so I can get it really precisely packed on my lid.
I saw the clouds roll in and run across the sky, and I hope that.
Next, I'm just going to apply a light coat of mascara before we put on false lashes, and I'm going to go back into the face makeup. I'm going to use my Becca eye brightener, which is a pink corrector, and I'm just going to use a concealer brush and put this underneath my eyes to help cancel out any darkness. And I'm also going to be highlighting down the center of my face to create a really glowy, bright look. And then I'm just going to blend that out with my beauty blender. Next, I'm going to use my Smashbox BB Eyes Concealer and just go over the brightener underneath my eyes, and then I'm going to blend it out with my Beauty Blender again. And with a translucent powder and a small setting brush, I'm just going to set the concealer underneath my eyes, which is just going to help keep it from creasing and also help it last a lot longer. Next, I'm going back into the color Pistol out of the Naked 2 palette, and I'm just going to be smudging this along my lower lash line to create a softer look. And I'm going in with mascara on the bottom lashes, and she has a lot on the bottom, so make sure you apply a generous coat. And then quickly, I'm just going to fill in my brows. I already have a full brow video on my channel, which I will link down below, but I'm just quickly filling them in. She has a very soft yet defined look to her brows, so I am going to be mainly using a powder to create that softer look.
I I know you'll see me. And when the flame has gone that cools your frozen heart, you'll need me. You know you'll need me.
Okay, so when I do the rest of the face, I'm going to get some lash glue ready so it's nice and tacky when we're ready to put on the false lashes. So I'm going to be using the Duo Lash Adhesive, and I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of an index card or something. I'm actually going to just be using the little packaging that they come on, and I'm just going to squirt a little bit out and let that get tacky when I contour and highlight. Okay, so there's one more step to the skin that I want to do before I move on to like cheeks and all that. So, to create a super full coverage, flawless look like she has, it's very creamy, it's very full coverage, flawless, but it doesn't look cakey. And I would usually set with powder, but I don't want to create a super powdery look. So I'm actually going to be using a powder, but I'm going to show you a different way to apply it. So I'm going to be using the Becca Mineral Powder Foundation in the color Nude, and I'm going to take my beauty blender that I used to put on my foundation, and I'm going to get it wet with the primer water again and get it very, very damp. So this is going to help the powder from looking super dry, but it's still going to give you that extra coverage because she has super full coverage on. It just doesn't look like cakey. So I'm going to get the beauty blender and really press it into the foundation. Hopefully this doesn't ruin my foundation. And I'm going to press and roll it onto my skin. And this is a technique that my boss and some makeup artists that I work with taught me the other day. They've been doing this, and now we're all obsessed with it because it just makes your skin, if you need really full coverage, it makes your skin look flawless. And I don't do this every day because it is a lot of powder, but it makes your skin look amazing. And I'm really just pressing and rolling. I'm not rubbing because I don't want to rub off the foundation I have on. Okay, so once you apply the powder foundation with the beauty blender, as you can see, my skin looks more flawless, but it doesn't look cakey, and that's what I love. So I'm really excited because I'm going to be using some new products today that really give you that super bronzy, pretty glow that she has going on in this picture. It's very highlighted, and I'm all about the highlighter. So the first thing I'm going to be using is a new bronzer. I haven't even opened it. It is the Kevyn Aucoin Celestial Bronzing Veil. It's in the color Tropical Days. I'm going to open it and show you what it looks like. This is one of the most gorgeous things I've ever seen in my life. It's this super shimmery bronzer, and it's a like ombre, so it goes from a highlighter to like a bronze. And this is not something you're going to use to contour your face because shimmer does not create a shadow. This is something to give you a very bronzy, like beachy glow, and it's so, so pretty. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to apply this. I don't know what brush I'm going to use. This is real life Beauty and Bananas tutorial. Totally winging it as usual. Okay, so what I'm going to do is kind of get my brush in just the bronze parts first. And I'm like scared to use it because it's so pretty. And I'm just going to dust it on my temples, kind of all over my cheek. Her skin is like really softly contoured, so I'm not really gonna worry about a lot of contouring today, which I usually do contour a lot, so it's kind of rare for me. Next, I'm going to get kind of the lighter parts and kind of focus this more on my cheekbones. We are going to be applying more highlighter, don't worry. But this is just like the first step because, oh my gosh, can you see that? This is so pretty. This is my first time. Well, I think I've used this before. We sell it at Belle and Blush, so I've played with it at work before, but this is my first time just putting this on. Usually I already have makeup on, so it's kind of hard to see the transformation with the product when you already have makeup on, but this is so pretty. It's almost like I'm almost putting on too much because it's so pigmented, but it's so pretty. Okay, so once I have the bronzer on, I'm also going to use some of the darker color down here. I actually am going to take a little bit of a matte bronzer. Not that it looks like she has a lot of contour on. Her face is just naturally more angular than mine and a lot thinner than my face, so, well, not thinner, it's just like she has more defined cheekbones than I do. So I'm going to contour just a tiny bit to create kind of a natural look. She doesn't look like she has a lot of contour on, so it's kind of up to you. But I'm going to contour a tiny bit. I'm going to use this small contour brush from Belle Tools. It came in the same brush set as the buffing brush that I used earlier. Again, that will be linked in the description. And I'm just going to use a tiny bit of the Too Faced Chocolate Bronzer. Anything that's matte will work. And I'm just going to lightly contour my cheekbones. Again, I don't want it to look super fake, which this is not a natural look anyway, but you know what I mean. And I'm very like particular about my jawline, so I always have to contour there. Most people, it's kind of a personal preference, but I have to contour there because I don't know, I feel like I have a double chin, or not even chin, I don't like this area not contoured. Is that OCD? That's OCD, yeah. And a little bit on my nose because she has a very pretty nose. And look at the packaging on this Kevyn Aucoin highlighter is so, so pretty. I'm obsessed with it. Oh, I love it. And it even, it's so pretty. Okay, next I'm going to use the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Opal. I finally got the powder version. I use the liquid highlighter all the time, as you saw me mix with my foundation in the beginning of the video, but I'm also going to be using the powder one today. If you just have one or the other, feel free to use whichever one you have. Highlight with whatever you want to, but this is something I've been wanting for a long time, and we have been sold out of it for so long where I work, and obviously I was not going to go to Sephora and buy one. Oh my god, it's all shattered. I gotta go return it. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is very messy. Holy crap. I just opened it and it's like a mess. Okay, so I'm going to use a tiny bit of this just on the tops of my cheekbones just to enhance that glow. And honestly, in the picture, it looks like she's wearing this. And then I'm going to take a tiny, tiny brush and go down the center of my nose, because her nose is really highlighted in this picture, and it's something I usually don't do. But in this look, I really like it. So I'm going to take a tiny bit. And then I'm also going to put a tiny bit on my Cupid's bow because that is super highlighted. Okay, so once you have on the highlighter, you can see the glow that gives your skin. I love it. She has kind of a cool toned light pink blush. I'm going to be using the Sonia Kashuk blush in Pink Rose. It's just a really pretty baby pink. You can find this at Target, so it's kind of more affordable. And I'm just going to put this kind of on the back parts of the apples of my cheeks. She doesn't have it like right in here. It's kind of like brushed back a little bit. And it kind of goes along with her contour, if that makes sense. It's not a super blushy look, but she does have a little bit of a rosiness to her cheeks. It's very like faint and pretty, but there's definitely something pink there. Okay, so for the lips, I'm going to be using L'Oreal Fairest Nude. It's just a really pretty nude pink. And again, you can find this at the drugstore. She actually does not look like she's wearing a lip liner, which is kind of cool. It's just very soft. And then I'm going to kind of pat it in to make it look more natural. I kind of feel like mixing this with something. You don't have to. If you have the exact color that you want to use, do that. I'm going to be mixing Lipstick Queen Hang 10, which is just a little peachier and it's more sheer. So I'm just going to put that right on top of it. And then right in the center of my lip, she has a very glossy and then lastly, I almost forgot, I'm going to apply the false lashes, and I'm just going to apply a couple individual ones on the outer part of my eye.
I'll get the glory, we'll win the fight. They'll tell the story.
Okay guys, so here is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I love this look. I think it is so pretty and so flattering, and I just love how highlighted and glowy it is. And if you guys want to check out my other tutorials, don't forget to. They are on my channel, and I will also have my blog linked down below with a full list of products. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!
I'll get the glory, we'll win the fight. They'll tell the story of how we took tonight, and